James, thanks for joining us here on Panthers TV. You've made the decision to retire from Rugby League at the end of the 2025 Betfred Championship season. I mean, you're just 32 years old. What's the reason to hang up your boots now?
Yeah, so I think it's been in my mind for a little while. Obviously I've got 4 kids now and they're starting to grow up, starting to go on their own sporting careers and take their own paths, and obviously over the last few years I've been missing a lot of their stuff to concentrate on my career. And as much as I've loved my time and loved playing, I think now's the right time to maybe step away and concentrate on my kids and my family.
Is it a bit bittersweet as well, because physically you've still got something to give, but obviously you want to walk away without being completely broken? Is that another reason in your mind?
Yeah, I think obviously everyone who's watched me over the years knows I've always played tough, played with my heart on my sleeve, and last year I think I still played 23 games, so I never wanted to hang around and be a bit part player, playing maybe an handful of games a season. I either want to play every game or I'm not interested, to be honest. So it's got to the stage now where I think I've noticed myself, although I've still got a bit of something to offer, I'm not the player I once was, maybe 5-6 years ago. Obviously age catches up with everyone, and like you said, I'm still only 32, but I feel like I'd rather go out where I've still played majority of games and still know I can perform at a decent level, rather than try drag it out a bit too long and end up not doing myself the justice that I deserve.
Absolutely agree there. We'll start with some statistics before we move on to some other things. So you've 11 seasons, 254 appearances, 114 tries, and 1 goal for your hometown club. I mean, that 1 goal might surprise people. Tell us about that.
Yes, I think back in 2015, I think it was, down at the Share, working in at home, if I remember rightly. I think we were winning by about 30 points, and Richard took Muzzer off with about 10 to go, and then he took Tyra off with about 5 to go, and we scored near the end of the game, and it were under post, and obviously no one knew third choice kicker was, so I thought, oh, chance here to knock your conversion over, so I took T, took ball, and the rest is history, as they say.
When you joined the club as a 21-year-old, did you ever think you'd be sitting here 10 years later, 17th on the all-time post-war appearance list with so much behind you in your career at Halifax?
No, obviously I came at 21, like you said, and it was just about establishing myself. I've always backed my ability, and probably the personality I had then, I was probably a bit arrogant maybe at the time, and probably that's why I ended up not going as far as I probably could have at a younger age in a more of a full-time professional career. But I think obviously stepping back and coming to Halifax, it was my hometown club. Obviously I'd supported the club as a kid, was a ball boy down here, and then obviously the opportunity came to play, and I think at that time I didn't know what my future was. I just knew I wanted to come and play for Halifax, and then as I got in here, I think 2015 we had a really good year, got in the middle eights. Obviously we finished with that big win at Odsal, and Rich just created a real good atmosphere. Like, everyone wanted to work hard, play for each other, and ever since I came I've never wanted to leave, really.
I mean, let's go back to that the first game in 2015. You made your debut away at Whitehaven. What are your memories of that day, the first time that you pulled on the Halifax shirt for real?
Yeah, so first game, I think before that we'd played Huddersfield Giants in a pre-season friendly. That was his only friendly that year. It absolutely chucked it down. It were a mud bath. To be honest, I'm surprised council let us play down at Shea with it being a friendly, but I think I did enough in that game where Rich kind of thought, oh, he's earned a crack, so got a start up at Whitehaven away. I think I managed to get 2 tries that day. I were a bit slimmer and a bit faster, so managed to, our on left wing, got over for a couple, and obviously we had a good win, a good first run out for the club.
Yeah, you started your Fax career with a win, ended it with a win away at Doncaster, obviously the final day of the regular season. This year, I mean, that's rather fitting that you started your career and ended your career with a win in blue and white, would you say?
Yeah, no, obviously it's great. I think I'd love to have been involved in playoffs, but as I've said, probably I've slowed down a bit and got a bit bigger, so Kyle had decisions to make on that front. But to obviously get that send off at Doncaster, my good mate Jono, obviously he retired same day, spent a few years down here together, and obviously they were a bit of a guard of honour. I got to walk out with my kids, and that were a great moment. I think what people don't realise sometimes is kind of sacrifice your family make to enable you to have the career you have. So obviously I'd like to thank my wife Levi, who's looked after 4 kids at home many an evening and many a weekend by herself, so I could come and play for the club that I love.
Your 10 years in blue and white obviously earned you a testimonial from the RFL. How's that gone this year? Have you enjoyed it? Has it been well spotted?
Yeah, obviously I think, if I'm perfectly honest, after last season I was kind of a bit down with rugby. Obviously we didn't have a great year, and I think kind of testimonials what kept me going a little bit longer. I think I just appreciate all the support that's been shown by everyone, all the sponsors who've backed me, and so far it's been successful. And obviously it's not over yet. There's a couple of events to go. I've got a dinner on 22nd of November. There's literally a couple of seats left, so thanks again for everyone who's purchased. And then I'm hoping that, all being well, we'll have a game down at the Shay in January, and that'll be the last time I pull on the blue and white of Halifax, and so it'd be great if I could get a good crowd down there and just show a bit of appreciation and thanks. It'd go a long way and it'd mean a lot.
Any ideas what you'll do with your boots after that game? Are you going to leave them on the halfway line? I'll let Greg Florimo.
No, to be fair, I've not thought about it. Probably be a tight sod and sign them and try raffle them off at Testimonial, but nah, I might just give them away to a kid or something, but we'll see.
So we'll move back to your career as a whole. What would you consider? You know, you've had some fantastic days, some highs, some lows. What are your career highlights during your time at Halifax?
Yes, I think early years, obviously the middle eight, like in my opinion, was the best structure, and probably still would be the best structure if it were in. It gives championship clubs that opportunity to test themselves at Super League level, and I think if you look back at some of them games, I know we might have got a Tonkin in 1 or 2, but I remember we went away to Warrington, lost by 4 points. We probably could have beat them that day. So there were a number of times where we'd play Super League opposition and we'd have a dig, and if you were good enough, you knew your squad were capable, and it meant you were ready for the step up. Whereas when they got rid of that, it were a bit of a down. But I think alongside that, the summer bash at Blackpool, we beat Fev a couple of times. One, I think about 37-0, and then the other one where Muzza got his belly out and started clapping to fans. They were real good days. Then more recently, obviously the Wembley trip. I think I've said before that probably wasn't the most important game that year. I think the London away in the semi-final, they ended up getting promoted, and to go down there and beat them, that were massive. So that'll always stick with me. And then just moving into kind of last year, I think that try at home against Bradford, where if we lose that, we're in real danger of getting relegated to League One, and I think maybe the club couldn't have afforded that due to the financial troubles, and it were a bigger try than a lot of people probably realise, and one that I'll remember for the right reasons and to keep the club alive that we all love.
Fantastic. I mean, you're a player that's known for putting everything out there, leaving everything out on the field. Do you have any regrets?
Not massively. I think a couple of bits I'd change if I could. When I was younger, obviously, everyone knows I used to like a drink or 10, and probably got myself into a bit of bother a few times, drinking before training or before a game, and looking back, obviously just a bit young, a bit naive, it's probably cost me a few extra games for the club, and if I could change anything it'd probably be that, get an extra few appearances, not notched up on the list, but we are who we are, you can't live with regrets, I'd like to think, so in the main, like, my career's been a success, I'd like to think, down here, and I've loved every minute of it.
How do you want to be remembered? How do you want the fan base and the club itself to remember James Saltonstall?
How would I want to be remembered? Just obviously that I'm a local lad who's give my everything to the club. Might not have always been the greatest player, or might have been tried a few things that aren't always paid off, but I know whenever I stepped foot on that pitch that I'd always give my all for this club. Obviously I've loved this club from being a young kid, and I hope that's kind of been represented in the way I've played, and I just hope people remember kind of the tough and durable player that I've been over the years.
James, congratulations on a fantastic career. All the very best for the future.
Yeah, no thanks. I just finished with, obviously I thanked Levi and my kids, and just want to give a shout out to my mum and dad as well, from driving me around at a young age and getting me obviously to where I am now. And like I said, don't forget Testimonial game in January, and hopefully see you all down there for one last time.
All the best, Salty.
Cheers mate, thank you.